You are about to learn how to master RBS and SBR of MSNR trading. Of course, RBS, SBR are MSNR concept, Malaysian Support and Resistance. And of course, this is exactly what I'm about to teach you in this video. So let's dive right in without further ado. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is we want to understand structure. Structure is very important in trading RBS. So as you can see in this particular scenario, we have price move this way and we have a break of structure. So this point that price broke structure, the swing before that break of structure, once that swing is taken, this becomes our RBS. What does that mean? RBS simply means resistance break support. So this is a resistance level. If price breaks it, it means that resistance have been broken. Then this resistance will turn support. So price will come and tap it and move on. However, you need to understand how to implement this, and I will show you in this particular video. Before we dive right in case you are new to my channel, you might want to subscribe to my channel right now. I have a lot of videos on my channel where you are going to learn about MSNR and the Komepips trading protocol, of course with the ICRT as well. So these are very powerful things, videos you might want to watch. My recent videos, make sure you go check them out. These and of course I have tons of videos on my channel. If you really want to grow, just sit on my channel and learn, and of course you are going to grow. Okay, so let's continue. Let's come to this example, or rather on this diagram. This is a diagram that I had made out for you guys, and one of the things you see is break of structure, which I already talked about here. So once you've identified this break of structure, the swing that caused that break of structure is a resistance to the downside in this scenario. So this becomes a resistance. So the implication of this is that when price is coming up, we want price to respect this zone, right, and continue like this, because if price is moving, definitely to be creating lows, high, low, highs, low, highs, low, highs, low. So once that this level is broken, this becomes our RBS. Do you understand? So that's exactly what happened here. We saw that this high has been broken, and immediately this high got broken. What happened? Price came, taps it and pushed away. However, you need to understand that this needs to work with context. This is a bearish scenario. The same thing, we see price trading to the upside. So price forming higher highs, higher lows, high highs, higher lows, high highs, higher lows, and of course broke this structure, right, and gave a change of character. And of course it is this break that becomes our SBR. So SBR is for sell, RBS is for buy. SBR is support break resistance. That's the full meaning, support break resistance, and RBS is resistance break support. So for example, in this scenario, we understand that we have a key level here. Price come, taps it and pushes away. So let me show you how you can apply this before we go to the real chart. There are different ways you can apply the RBS and SBR in Malaysian support and resistance trading. One of the most important thing you need to pay attention is the higher time frame narrative. Once you are able to identify this on the higher time frame, it has higher probability of playing out. However, if you have another tap on the higher time frame key level, like in this scenario, so we have this as higher time frame tap. This is a higher time frame tap, and of course price does something like this, push and tap the zone and break this low. So this level becomes our what? This level becomes as our SBR. Why? Because we are selling. So this was a support. Now that support has been broken. It has not turned resistance. So you might quickly say, that, okay, how about this one? All right, I put that there on purpose for you, because on the chart you are not going to see a perfect textbook setup every time, and you would need to understand some other logics that can influence SBR and RBS. One of the logics that can affect or influence SBR or RBS is inducement. Okay, so anytime you see inducement a little bit lower to your SBR or RBS, then that might likely hold. Okay, because inducement is a way of market telling you that, okay, this is where I want to use. So market is screaming, I want to use there, I want to use here, right? So first, you want to see a tap on the higher time frame key level. For those of you who don't know what that is, you need to come watch my video where I talked about master my MSNR storyline. Okay, and of course there are other videos as well, like yes, like this particular video. You're also going to learn that. Okay, so this is very, very important. There's one more thing I want to mention, but I'm going to do that on the chat. Like, I will show you live on the chat. Meanwhile, in case you don't know or you are not on my Telegram, please do well to join my free Telegram channel where you will learn, and of course, as you learn, you'll be receiving free setups. All right, and of course, a lot of things to learn from my free Telegram channel anyway, so do well to check it out, and of course you are going to be blessed. Okay, so check the video description to join my free Telegram channel. Okay, so having said that, let's go to the chat and let's do some practical work. Now, the most important thing, as earlier stated, is the higher time frame. The higher time frame needs to give you a directional bias idea. For those of you who don't know about storyline, like I said, go and watch my video where I said master MSNR storyline. So having said that, you need to understand storyline. So once you understand storyline, the next thing is you can start looking for your SBR or RBS with liquidity. Okay, with liquidity. So let's check live examples, and let me give you a scenario of how some of these things pans out. You know that in MSNR we make do with line chart. Yes, we make use of line chart a whole lot. Okay, so let's look for some examples. So one thing you need to consider is this: we have a break. So let's say this was our break of structure, and in SBR and RBS, our break of structure becomes the sweep. All right, becomes the sweep, and this becomes what? RBS. Okay, so this becomes our SBR, rather. These are SBR. Let's push this forward. Yeah, this is our SBR. Can we make that a little bit bolder? Yeah, this is our SBR. Now you might say, okay, why didn't I use this week? All right, in MSNR we are not really using the week. All right, we're not using the week, except we're using the ICRT in line with the SBR and RBS. For those of you who don't know what ICRT is inverse candle range. Okay, that's my concept, Komepips concept, and rather my idea that if you want, you can check this video as well. Okay, you understand the logic behind all of that, and of course, and okay, so this is an example, but in this case, you see price did not tap this zone. Why? Because there are other concepts also, of course, but we're not talking about other concepts in this video. Today is strictly for SBR and RBS. Okay, so what else can we find right here? We can see another example. Yeah, yes, this is an example of SBR with liquidity. Okay, this is the liquidity, and this was the SBR. Now with SBR, you need to try as much as you can. You need to back test. Okay, this is another example of SBR. Okay, this is an SBR. This is an SBR. Why? We had a V-shape, right, broken. So when that V-shape is broken, it turns what? Resistance, which is, it turns an A-shape level, right? Like, it's going to serve as an A-shape key level. Do you understand? So, and of course, what do we have? We have inducement here. So when you apply the inducement, liquidity inducement in line with the SBR, it becomes more powerful. So let me show us more example that you need to learn. Okay, this is another example right here. So this is a support, right? You agree with me? And this support was broken by this candle. So immediately it was broken by this candle. What price did was, price came and did what? Pushed a little bit, pushed like this, and that becomes what? Liquidity for what? Our SBR. So this is our SBR. So we have this as our SBR, and as you can see, that was the exact area price used in this particular scenario. Okay, so like I said, you will need to apply this alongside the storyline. Like your buyers, you need to know where price is going, because we're not going to be trading any random SBR or RBS as the case may be. Okay, so let's look for other examples, right? Let's look for other examples. We have, okay, this is a QM. Now QM is an inverse formation of SBR and RBS. Okay, if you want me to make a video on QM strictly, just let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so let's look for other examples. So this is an example of SBR as well. SBR, this is an example. Why is that? Look at that. We have a V shape and it got broken, right? It got broken like this. And of course, we have liquidity beneath it. So this is the liquidity beneath it. And of course, this is also a liquidity. And that was where price used on this particular scenario as well. So this can be very, very powerful once you know what you are doing. So let's look for other examples as well. So we have another example here. We have a break to the upside, right? This is a break to the upside, and we have the failure or a breakthrough of that level. So this becomes our SBR, support breaking resistance, right? And we have that. And what did price use? That was the exact spot that price also used as well. So talking about stop loss placement, for those of you who might be asking, you see, you need to do your back testing based on the pair, because each pair have different behavioral pattern. However, this concept work on any pair: currencies, VIX indexes, synthetic indices, metals, and cryptocurrencies and the likes. All right, but you must understand that each of these instruments, they have different behavioral patterns. Some have longer wicks and the like, so you need to study and understand. So for example, this as SBR is in line with the Komepips ICRT. So this is an ICRT right there. This is an ICRT right there. And if you notice where the price used the 50% of the ICRT. You see why the Komepips ICRT can be very, very powerful, because the precision can be strong. So you can use the same stop loss. Imagine that you've already understood this concept, the trading protocol, and you see the tap right there. Right, you understand that your entry was here, and based on this understanding of the trading protocol, you move your stop loss. Instead of here, your entry rather, you put your entry there. Your stop loss have to be that same level. Yes, and of course you can check us out on our on our Telegram channel, and you are going to learn a whole lot of things as well. So that's just by the side. In case you want a video on that, it's on my channel already. So let's look for further examples before we call it a day. Okay, so let me show some examples that are somehow complex. Yes, we need to look for a complex example so that you can understand these things better. Okay, so this is a complex example right here. So we have our sweep from that level, and we have our break, and this is a support breaking. This candle is breaking the support, so automatically that level turns resistance. Right now, you need to pay attention to this, because sometimes you can just get a fake out, especially if you're on the lower time frame. Okay, so you need to see a level of inducement. So in this case, this becomes inducement, and potentially this became inducement again. Why? Because price did not really react from as RBS or SBR level. So what do? In this case, we have this is another level right there. So this is an SBR level as well. SBR level. Now let me show something very interesting. Very interesting. Are you ready for it? In case you are, see, just type in the comment section that you're ready, and of course ensure that you have liked the video already. So let me show you something real quick. Do you remember this video that I made, the last video that we made on how to master the candle confirmation in MSNR, which is part of the Komepips trading protocol? Let me show you how to use it with SBR and how to increase your win rate with this. Okay, so first thing that we want to do, we want to identify an SBR level. So what do? We need to look for SBR levels, and we will mark those zones. Okay, so in this case we have this, right? And of course, if you notice, there was no candle confirmation on this zone, right? So because there was no candle confirmation there, you can either wait for confirmation or look below. Yes, let me look for more examples, perfect example for us, so that you can understand. So this is another thing. Look at this. We have this as this supposed to be our SBR, but what's happening? There was no candle confirmation here, and what happened? It failed. Right, there was no candle confirmation and it failed. And where did price use? Price came to use this zone that had candle confirmation, and of course this zone is a QML. It's a QM level. Okay, of course we're not talking about QM today, but you can see the same thing playing out right here. Look at that. We have that's our CC, that's candle confirmation, right? So you will see multiple examples, like you can see multiple examples. Even if we go back, all those places that tend to work out, you understand that some of them are as a result of that candle confirmation. Let me show you. Okay, so this is one, right? This is one. Of course, in this one wasn't, this is not really a perfect example, but do you notice how this candle came very close to this? Then your entry will have to be on this next candle. That's the double confirmation. Yes, that's double confirmation right there. All right, so yes, you can add and include the ideology of CC to that particular setup, to this SBR and RBS setup, and you are going to be good. So it's very important that you note and understand these things. Of course, another thing, if you notice, I stayed on just one time frame, and that's because I just wanted it to have a perspective, to have an idea of how this one works. However, you will need to use them with multi-time frame. You need to like apply. For example, we did not even check where is our bias. We did not check storyline. We're just looking for random SBR and RBS, and that was because I just want you guys to have an idea of how these things work, right? So it's very simple. In case you didn't get it on the first watch, you need to watch it again. So this, for example, this is what we call the CC candle confirmation. Then you enter on this second candle on that same zone, so in this case on that SBR zone, right? So it's something that you are going to enjoy. For those of you who are interested in joining the Komepips trading protocol, these are the things that you are going to get from the trading protocol. You are going to get advanced trading systems step by step, of course intense mentorship, and of course my favorite, daily market setups by me and by my students. So you're not going to be learning and learning, you'll be earning while you learn, and you get free updates. And of course we're working on our indicator as well. And of course our mentorship is lifetime access, because we want to see that you grow. Okay, we want to see that you grow. So in case you are tired of random strategies, inconsistency, you want structural way of trading, disciplined, clarity. You are ready for mentorship and not just shortcuts. You are ready for serious. You are serious about mastery and not hype. Then, of course, the Komepips trading protocol is for you. So why is it for you? It is simply because we have clear rules, well-defined process, strong psychology, and long-term sustainability. Of course, this mentorship is with intention, not noise. Yes, my intention is that everyone that comes through my mentorship will get funded, and beyond that will increase his profitability, his or her profitability while trading. So feel free to reach out to us. Check the video description to register for the Komepips trading protocol, and you are good to go. See you on the profitable side of the market. This is Komepips.